Next, we have Divya, a visionary leader who's excelled in both sales and human resource. Divya will enlighten us on the vital role of human skills in fostering engagement, fostering talent development, and striking a harmonious balance between technology and human touch growth. Joining us is Somesh Soni, an accomplished team lead in Java development. Somesh's experience in the software engineering domain will offer valuable perspective on the role of automation in driving efficiency. And we are honored to have Ronak Singhvi, a visionary heading operations and solutions. Ronak's vast experience and strategic vision in navigating the intricate landscape of operational efficiency and strategic marketing will add valuable perspective to our discussion. Last but not the least, Prithviraj Singhara, a trailblazer leading the design team in UI UX. Among our panelists, Prithviraj's expertise in user-centered design will shed a light on how human skills play a pivotal role in creating intuitive and meaningful digital experiences, even in the era dominated by automation. And we are fortunate to have Bhavesh Singhvi leading and moderating our panel discussion, guiding us through a journey of discovery and exploration. With his expertise, energy, and insightful questioning, we can expect a truly enlightened discussion. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Imani, for the wonderful introduction. So we'll start with the session, and I think the topic is quite relevant in today's context. And we being all the IT professionals, it's become more important that how do we see these changes happening, and how does it impact us and overall all the environment which is supporting us. So to start the discussion, we'll start with a very basic question, just to understand that if a layman want to understand what is AI, artificial intelligence, is it a new thing that we are seeing in this today's world, or is it something that has already been there since invention of computer, mobile, or how do we see that is a perspective change that AI in today's world wasn't AI, or what I would say, the technology that we are using today is an AI for yesterday's world, and the technology will be same in future will be the AI for today. So how do we see that? Is it a new phenomena, or what? How can you simply explain artificial intelligence? So Gaurav, you would like to take it.
Well, so you rightly mentioned that AI has a changing definition as we have moved on. So if I talk about 100 years back when calculators were born, I think people of that time, they would have thought of that automation also as some form of AI. If I speak in terms of data, then probably the first time when the term AI was used was somewhere in 1940s, when some researcher in some US university, they thought of creating systems where which requires minimum human intervention and then things should get done, and they termed it as AI. If you will ask me of a definition of AI for someone who is, who can be considered as a layman, then if there is a task which requires some human intelligence to get done, if I can do it with the help of machines, then it can be considered as something which can fall under the AI era. As I said, as the time has passed, the definition has changed. So when machines came, that was also some sort of automation which had happened. For people of that times, it would have been considered as some intelligence which is coming into the system. Today we are living in the world where AI, in terms of its definition, has become very matured. These days we see AI as something where the capabilities of humans, if they are exactly imitated by machines, then we call these kind of things as artificially intelligent systems. So that's how I think AI has changed its definition over the century.
Thanks, Gaurav, for the insightful answer. So, Somesh, coming to you, when we talk about AI and the way Gaurav explained that it's all about how the processes that the humans are doing can be done by the machines or any programs, etc. you being in seasoned software professional, how do you see that your life changing, or what all changes do you see which will be coming in the near future with all the buzz around the
Thank you, Rosh. So, as computer generation is coming more and more, and advanced hardware are developed, now we have some processing power. So, computers can do more. Okay. So before this era, we have mathematical functions and stats. Based on that, we were able to predict some data. But now we have processing power as well, which support more complex logic like deep learning. And after generative AI, which is creating its own content, now we have there are systems which can generate code, which can generate websites in minutes, presentation documents. So it's helping any professional developer or any professional guy.
Okay. So, Ms. Athira is connecting to this one when she's saying that there are complex models that are coming up and all. But when we look at your field, which is more on the design and which is more like user experience or intuitive, what the humans would like to see, do you see that in designing as well, the AI will play a significant role? And do you have any thoughts on how the team members who are in the design team can upskill themselves to address those challenges or to address those opportunities?
Yeah, sure. So, design has already been leveraging the power of artificial intelligence. It doesn't need to be very complex model or something that can do it on its own, but small tasks. Say when I use Figma screen designing tool, so it has small capabilities that it can do on its own. It can make tasks easier, and it can do repetitive tasks easily, and that is a part of AI being integrated into Figma. Similarly, there are other tools coming up which can generate image, like Sumesh said, generative AI that can generate images on the basis of prompts you write, prompt engineering that we call it. And they are making graphic designers or as well as creative designers jobs easy. And how UX can leverage from it is AI is gonna make the data processing easy. So it will help us in user experience research, because research is very important when we go and solve a problem, and that processing can be done easily with the help of artificial intelligence, and one can upskill themselves by learning to create better research methodologies, better research reports, research results. So in a nutshell, it will help us synthesizing that research and give us a better understanding of user.
Thank you. Now you talked about research. Okay. Now when we talk about research, we see the results that are coming in, and there is a section of group which says that the results can be more biased with the AI coming in, because the AI is taking the information whatever is available over the net, and you are utilizing those results. And when we talk about the research, we are saying that many individuals are doing a great research in several domains, and with all this coming in, do we see that within the research field, this copyright or new findings or biasness will play a bigger role when the AI comes in?
Yeah, definitely. We cannot just believe on the data that AI is generating. But on the other hand, research models need to be built precisely with the help of UX designers and the people who will be using those models. So उनके साथ collaboration में ऐसे अच्छे tools, research models, complex models build होने की ज़रूरत है. Because see, what happens is generally you believe on the data जो आप इंटरनेट पे पढ़ लेते हैं, और बिल्कुल सही आपकी बात है कि biases generate होंगे, and there where we need to have a human intervention. So I believe that would be the next stage where we will be moderating how AI is going to work. We cannot just rely on it, and it will create, I think it will create more jobs in those sections where one can leverage the power of AI.
Thank you. So coming to the jobs, Divya, means since you are leading the organizations and planning for the scaling up and all, and means many times we see in the news and all that AI is going to displace jobs. Means all the work that we are doing today will become mundane and new skills will be required. So is it an opportunity, or do you see it as more as a threat for the people who are working in this industry?
Well, there are divided opinions actually on this, Bhavesh. Very frankly, I'll get back to your earlier question, what is AI, and when I tried learning more about it. So, in general, experts are dividing AI into three different categories. One is ANI, which is artificial narrow intelligence. Then there is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. And then there is ASI, which is artificial super intelligence. Artificial narrow intelligence is something that we are experiencing day in, day out everywhere. If you are using Google Maps and it is predicting you the best route, or if you are, if there is a robot that is helping you clean the home, it's all using some kind of intelligence to detect the layout of your room or something like that. So some system which is trained to do a particular kind of task is considered as artificial narrow intelligence. Then there is artificial general intelligence, which actually is, we are on verge of getting there. It has not gotten there, but it is basically when computers will start thinking like humans. Okay, currently, if I talk about AI, we have reached to a level where AI can do tasks which humans can think. But the difference is, they currently are far away from the task which human does without thinking. Okay, and once it reaches there, it's gonna be artificial general intelligence, and it will then know how to grow its intelligence power more and more. So when Sumesh talked about computation, I'll give you data that the computation power actually doubles every 3 years. So by 2040, it is expected to reach that. So even today, very frankly, China has computers which has computational powers more than the computational power of your brain, which is the biggest processor yet. Okay, so we already have created it, just that it currently takes 700 square meter of area for that supercomputer to be there and takes millions of dollars. But that computational power is increasing day by day, and by 2040 it is expected to be something like a personal computer to have that kind of computational power. That is when that is when probably the jobs are going to be in a threat zone, because in case AI learns the portion which learns emotions, learns how to think by itself, then what's going to happen next? For example, today if I would put a monkey here, would you expect it to code? I believe no, right? Tomorrow AI is going to be that strong that in comparison you will be a monkey to them. Okay, and that is where they would not expect you to be able to perform that job. So what's going to happen? It's not very straightforward, very frankly. It's still speculation. But again, in my opinion, yes, it is. We are on that route, and it is going to go there. So for a shorter time span, I would say that it's an opportunity where, as technocrats who understand technology, we can learn on how to control it and make our day-to-day work more efficient, make our day-to-day work better. But at the same time, parallelly, the computational powers are going that strong that it is also for sure that someday you would be that monkey for the AI when there would be a job threat. So yes, that's my opinion.
Okay.
I would like to add, because we are talking about job displacements. sorry, replacements. So that was the point that I'm trying to make here. The kind of AI that we are experiencing today, be assured that job displacements are going to happen. Replacements is something that we are scared of, but I do not see a near possibility of that happening until unless we are flexible to change. So I hope we understand this, that so for example, when calculators were invented, what happened? Did people who know arithmetic, they got replaced? No, they were still there. Because I have a calculator in my hand today which can do all the arithmetic operations for me, does that mean I do not learn arithmetic? I do. Do I not use it in my day-to-day life? I do. So all these things are going to stay there only. But then what happened when calculators came? I changed the way I work. I changed the kind of things that I was doing, because now arithmetic operation is something that calculator is doing, so let me spend my time in more innovative things. So that kind of displacement is something that is the demand of the time, and it should happen. So the way I see it is, if you are eager to learn, if you are flexible enough to change, and if you are, if you are eager to adapt the changes that are happening around you, I think there is no threat, no such threat that jobs are going to be replaced.
Just adding to that point, like I completely agree to Gaurav that if you are ready to adopt, I mean, even we have seen it with our with the generation of our father and and big elder brothers or something. When computer came, many people adopted. Many people were like, "नहीं यार ये क्या machines हैं, मैं नहीं सीखूंगा" and all. And the people who adopted, basically they grew and they did good, while the people who were skeptical of it or didn't use it, then they could not grow beyond a level, right? So that is definitely going to be the truth. But at the same time, when I'm saying that, at one point of time when it can be completely replaced, then it is not a threat for one person's job or some job. It would be threat for all the jobs.
Thanks.
Now, because again we are talking about job displacements, and I think it's the debate about job replacements is the hottest debate that is happening around AI. We all are talking about AI only and only because it has scared us to the core that our jobs will be replaced with these machines. That is the reason I want to put more time on this. A simple study by International Labour Organization (ILO), it says that in India, we are the people who work for longest hour per week. So if you will compare our working hours with Europe, then probably somewhere around 48 to 50 hours is a norm in India, which is, while if I compare it with the West, then 35 hours, 36 hours is the norm in Europe. Now I say that there are technologies, tools available in the market which are powered by AI, and then they can make your life easier, they can do the tasks which are there. So if I say that there are such tools in the market that can reduce the time you were spending on doing routine tasks. For example, these days we are writing our emails with the help of ChatGPT. So if there are these kind of tools that are available, they can reduce your time in monotonous routine work, and if they can reduce your working hours, then what is the harm in that? If these kind of things, these kind of automations, if they can, मैं 50 घंटे काम कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मेरे पास 50 घंटे का काम है. अगर वो काम 40 घंटे में खत्म होता है, तो ऑब्वियसली बात है कि I am going to enjoy a more better work-life balance वाली life. So it's just that the way I want to see about the things, the automation, ये जो intelligent system के अंदर आ रहे हैं के बारे में. Second, we are not the only one as मतलब skilled labor या फिर skilled workforce. We are not the only one who are standing at the threat of being replaced. अगर एक ChatGPT के तरीके के engine से मैं ये पूछूं कि how to write a code which can do this, और वो मुझे उसका आंसर दे देता है, जो कि वो दे भी रहा है, तो do I have a need to go to Google? No. Earlier, I was going to Google, I was going to Stack Overflow, I was going to Stack Exchange, and now all these things are happening through ChatGPT. Now, three things or three hits from me, which could have been happened on Google, they are getting converted into one hit at ChatGPT. It simply means that the business of Google is getting hurt, and they are at the verge of getting eliminated from the market. So they are at a bigger threat. उनको ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है ना इसके एडवांसमेंट से, सारा एड्स का पैसा चला जाएगा. But are they scared? Probably somewhere yes. But then what they are doing? They are actually trying to find out new avenues, new ways of doing things, and ChatGPT is there. Same thing applies to us also. Find newer ways, find innovative ways to stay in the market.
Thanks, Aura, for the elaborate answer. So, coming to humans, the way you are saying it's a positive thing for the humans that we are getting more advanced in the technology, and it will give a more opportunity. So, I'll come to Ronak. So, looking at the organization, when we say that humans means the employees need to adapt themselves to these new changes that are happening. So, what are the things they can do to equip themselves in this rapidly changing scenarios? Secondly, as an organization, when we are running with an AI, comes significant risk with respect to when we are talking about getting the code, any copyright issue, any policies. So, as an organization, how do we protect ourselves that whatever delivery we are doing, even if we are using the AI, we are not getting any risk from the market in terms of any legal complications or any thoughts?
Point number one, that what our team can do to adapt to the coming of an generative AI or whatever the new technology that is coming up. I think the first thing that which everybody agrees to is that definitely the kind of repetitive work which we do in day-to-day operations will get eliminated using this AI. So let me take an example. Let's assume we talk about the recruitment process. There's a dedicated team who works on shortlisting the profiles. There's a dedicated team who do the interview processes, right? And there is a process to it. There's a very well-defined process to it, and it is more manual. And then you take the interviews. You have certain parameters on which you need to evaluate the candidates. Now, I think that can easily be done using an AI. But now, as we say that would we need the people? We would definitely need the people. But what they need to do now is they need to spend more time in doing the planning. What exactly they need to do? Right now, in general, I'm not talking about that ideal way. में yes, planning को अच्छे से होनी चाहिए, फिर process होना चाहिए. But in general, that's not how innovation works. Right? तो बहुत चीजें adopt होती हैं कि हाँ ठीक है requirement देती गई. But I think if you want to adopt technology, if you talk about आज से कुछ सालों की पहले की बात करते हैं, ERP में implement करना है. अगर आपके processes set नहीं है, then you cannot make any use of ERP. Similarly, if you are planning to use an AI, you need to have those defined processes. यार मुझे चाहिए क्या उस system से? So I think उस चीज़ पे ज़्यादा planning की ज़रूरत होगी. तो I think going forward, the one thing which would be important for the people is to understand the business as a whole. And that's where the consulting role, I would say that the techno consulting role would play a major role, where the people would be expected to understand more about the businesses so they can define their requirements really, really well and can use the technology in their better advance. So I think जैसे engineering domain भी होगा तो I think now expectation would be not just to write in code, but to understand the business and their processes and get those implemented. So थोड़ा सा role मुझे लगता है specific in engineering it would come more in a techno consulting domain. So that is one aspect to it. कि हाँ कैसा adopt करना है, तो I think we need to understand more about how the business works, how if we are building any solutions, how those are going to be used in any application. That's where we need to adopt, learn more. Try to understand what are the tools available in the market and how we can leverage them to build solutions in a faster way and implement those and do a better planning. So these are the things which I think we need to scale up in the organization. Second point which you raised was more regarding copyright क्या बचेंगे, and to be honest I don't have an answer to it right now because I'm not going into those haven't thought about it कि इसके legal implications क्या हैं, but I think वो the whole world right now is exploring that कि अगर टेस्ला की गाड़ी एक्सीडेंट होगा तो जिम्मेदार कौन है, इंसान है कि वो कोड है. तो अभी I think वो legally at this moment I don't have much clarity that how we would safeguard ourselves. Maybe if anyone else has any insight to that.
On the copyright front, see, I mean, it would be governed by legal policies rather than technology as such. Very frankly, I mean, as even today, you know, I mean, it is very easy to breach it as well. What constraints are the legal documents that you sign and, you know, the legal constraints that you put in rather than actually. So even with the advent of AI, it would be possible, but would you be doing it, or you know, I mean, would you use AI to do it? That would be governed by legal contracts that you would have rather than actually some technology constraints. Today also someone can easily copy code and distribute. I mean, put it on our distribution list. So it is going to be very similar in that fashion. But yes, I mean, I think companies are figuring out the ways that what are the new terms and clauses that are to be put in the contracts and stuff. But that is how it is going to be guarded, not by technology as such. By technology, probably you will be able to find out where is the breach, but guarding would happen in the legal terms.
Okay, so we'll continue on this, but one of our esteemed panelists has to leave for a urgent engagement. So thank you for being part of the panel. We'll continue with the discussion. So one point before you answer one. So when we talk about the legal contracts and all, we are seeing that India is also working on the international framework for the AI. Secondly, we are seeing the companies like Zerodha who have announced that they will be coming up with their own AI policy. So, will it be going to be a very common phenomenon for organizations to come up with their AI policy? For example, right now we have the IT policy, confidentiality, other things. So, will this AI policy will also be a phenomenon? And that's one of the aspects which even the HR department will need to look into. That how do we incorporate in the overall policies for the organization?
So as rightly mentioned that we are at a very infant stage. So we generally it is called AI infancy period. So everybody is trying to figure out that how these things will take shape going forward. Data breach, data security. You rightly mentioned that the government of India probably would be forming a policy. Companies will also come with their policy. It is difficult to comment what exactly is going to be a uniform framework that will get adopted by one and all. If we see in the recent years, most of the CEOs either of Facebook or Google, everybody has been summoned by US Senate to answer data security questions. Yesterday only Sam Altman, who is the founder of OpenAI, he was questioned by US Senate on the same questions, that how the data security will be ensured. How can you ensure that the models that are being trained are not trained using the personal data of the users? These questions are still unanswered, but yes, moving forward as things will get mature, there will be answers, there will be policies, there will be frameworks, there will be regulations around all these things so that things move in a more controlled fashion.
So even when we talk about the policies, we are seeing that when I talked about Zerodha, they are coming up with a policy that even if the AI comes in, that they will protect the job for their employees. And they are doing an assessment right now that what if the AI comes and how much jobs may be impacted and how do they plan for their future as well. So I think that also becomes an important aspect when we plan for the people's perspective. And we being a people's first organization, I think over the years we may also need to think on those things, that how do we ensure that the core values of the organization that we do the changing.
Exactly, Zerodha being one of them, I think they have a proper term for this now. They call it human-centric AI, where humans will always be given a preference over artificial intelligence.
So, Somesh, coming back to you, when we talk about AI, the general thing we heard here is about either the ChatGPT or Bard. And can you let us know, Miss, we understand that there are multiple type of AI tools available. So why only ChatGPT is becoming famous, or there are similar strong tools that are available in market, or any tools that you can recommend for our team members to start using or exploring in their day-to-day work?
So I have not explored much tools, but there are tools like Gamma, where we can create some validation document or a simple website where we can modify some static website where we can modify after generation. And before coming to that, I want to answer one argument which was started that after AI we will have some time. It depends on your employer first. Because when you finish tasks in time, you will have more tasks, right? And after AI, the estimate will be lesser and the ask will be more, because now everyone knows that okay, we have some tools. So yeah, so I have not explored much tool, but there are tools available for which can give you a simple APIs also. You can create API and then you can modify as per your need. And for more information, I think Petrolage has some more website.
Okay, thank you, Suresh. So yeah, ChatGPT we already know बहुत ही ज़्यादा पॉपुलर सॉफ्टवेयर है, सब यूज कर रहे हैं. एक तो सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज इसके पास है फर्स्ट मूवर होने का, और जैसा मुझे पता है कि इन लोगों ने सबसे पहले स्कूल कॉलेजों के बच्चों को टारगेट किया सो दैट वो उसको लेवरेज करें एंड देन बहुत जल्दी वर्ड पॉपुलर हो जाएगा. बट देन द ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आर आल्सो कमिंग. लाइक बार्ड अभी आया है, बहुत अच्छा नहीं है, इवन बिल्कुल भी अच्छा नहीं है, बट ओवर द टाइम अच्छा हो जाएगा. बट अगेन देयर आर सम अदर सॉफ्टवेयर्स. मेरे पास एक बहुत अच्छा लिस्ट है, मैं उसको रिकमेंड करता हूँ. सो या ChatGPT we already know. Then Notion, अगर आप लोगों में से किसी ने Notion यूज किया हो तो Notion इज अ डॉक्यूमेंट राइटिंग कोलैबोरेशन का बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है. तो Notion uses AI to generate good templates, और आप उसमें अपना सारा वर्क रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हो. Then there would be Luma जिसमें आप वीडियोस क्रिएट कर सकते हो with the help of AI, so it can apply transitions etc. वीडियोस के अंदर इफेक्ट्स लगा सकता है Luma. Then there are Midjourney. So Midjourney एक इमेज जनरेशन का बहुत अच्छा टूल है जिसमें आप एक क्वेरी डालोगे. सपोज कि दिव्य के पंख लगे हुए हैं एंजल्स जैसे while he is wearing black jeans and having a feet like octopus, तो वो जनरेट कर देगा.
कपड़े देने के लिए थैंक यू.
शर्ट का नहीं बोला है मैं, आप शर्ट हटा सकते हो. तो it's a very good tool, and Midjourney is not the only one. There are Leonardo and Blue Willow and other image generating tools, and all of these are working on the basis of prompts. So आप 3D models बना सकते हो, आप text models बना सकते हो. Then there is Imagine करके एक और tool है, and there are some other tools such as Attention for meetings. So basically ये meetings के अंदर notes खुद से ले लेता है. तो these notes can be helpful जब हम मीटिंग, अभी कई बार होता है कि नोट्स नहीं लेते हैं, then later on हमें चेक करना है मीटिंग में क्या डिस्कस हुआ, तो वो खुद से नोट्स दे सकता है. So there are lot of tools coming up, but I pretty much believe कि वीडियो ग्राफिक्स और ऐसे वाले टूल्स पे भी काफी ज्यादा काम चल रहा है.
Thanks Ravinder and thanks Amish. So before we move on to next questions, we would like to ask the audience in case they want to understand more about anything or in case they have any query, so they can raise their
My question is, do you think all this AI stuff is going to impact only the software or digital industry as such, or is it going to impact multiple other industries? For example, we as a human, I need food to survive. Is it going to impact the way we grow food, or only the threat that we are talking about, because everybody is taking interest because it is basically threatening. It has a image of threatening everybody's income source or employment. Is it only related or specific to our industry, software development, or digital industry as such, or content generation industry, or is it relevant to other industries also, according to you?
So I'll keep it short and simple. Those who are interacting with computers directly in their day-to-day jobs, they are at the verge. Yes, that's true. As far as which industry, I mean, I do not see any industry which will not get impacted. The way of work is going to change. So be it manufacturing, be it pharma, education, healthcare, every industry will have some or other component which will be driven by AI in coming future. Yes, because software industry is something where we are on a day-to-day basis interacting with computers only. So if your part of the job is such that you are directly interacting with software systems, then yes, you are frontier.
Apart from generating code automatically, I mean, how is it impacting anybody else?
See, I think so. As Gaurav says, we are we are impacted by the first wave, but at the same time, I mean, there's lots of other things that are happening. So specifically, when you're talking about the food industry, so AI is actually being comprehensively being worked upon nanotechnology to build food. Okay, I mean, to build food, which is like, for example, if I want to eat meat, it can actually generate meat rather than actually having to kill some animal or something. So it can generate food from nanoparticles as real or as equal as as the real one. So there are good chances that the world is already moving towards it, where AI is going to generate your food rather than you having to kill for food. Similarly, if I talk about biotechnology, AI is being used to actually understand the DNA and the genes more, so that for example, let's say there is cancer, right, and there is no cure to it, but what genes can be modified so that it can completely, there is no occurrence of cancer at all. So AI is being used to actually read or understand that, and probably may find an answer also soon. So biotechnology is using it to make humans immortal, as experts say. That is again use of AI. If I talk about even at a bigger level, I see humans interacting with animals as in a single language. Because again, when we talk about generative AI, it is learning the pattern very fast. What we have not been able to learn is what pattern are they using to communicate with each other. But it is very much possible that AI learns it much faster than humans, and we know that what sound of a cow means what, and you start interacting with animals. So it is going to impact the whole world and all the domains and all everywhere. Just that since we are the tech people and it's a tech thing, we are getting impacted, right, like as frontiers, but otherwise also it is being used everywhere in the industries.
Yeah, I would like to add one more sector. तो एजुकेशन पे बहुत काम हो रहा है एआई को लेके, क्योंकि किसी भी बच्चे को पढ़ना सबसे बेकार काम लगता है, पढ़ाई सबसे बोरिंग काम है, लेकिन पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी भी है। और जिस तरह से ये टूल्स एंड ऑल आ रहे हैं, तो ये एक दिन जॉब खा जाएंगे, जैसे हम बात सुन रहे हैं, तो व्हाई नॉट अपस्किल आवरसेल्फ। तो इंटरैक्टिव एलिमेंट्स, वीडियोस के अंदर कौन सा पार्ट सबसे ज्यादा दिखा गया है, आपने अपनी क्वेरी सर्च की इंटरनेट पे एंड देन वीडियो बहुत बड़ा आ गया, तो एआई कैन टेल यू कि इस सर्टेन पार्ट पे आपका आंसर मिल जाएगा। लाइक आज भी अगर आप गूगल पे डालें कोई क्वेश्चन किसी सर्टेन पार्ट से रिलेटेड, तो वो एक यूट्यूब वीडियो जनरेट कर देता है एंड देन इट टेल्स यू फ्रॉम दिस पोर्शन टू दिस पोर्शन योर आंसर लाइज। एंड व्हेन यू वॉच दैट वीडियो, तो उसमें ये भी दिखाया था मोस्टली रिप्लेड एरिया कौन सा है। एंड some colleges in America, they are using interactive video elements. छोटे बच्चों के लिए बायजूस एंड ऑल यूज कर रहे हैं इंटरैक्टिव एलिमेंट्स यूजिंग पार्ट ऑफ एआई। तो इससे एजुकेशन को एक नई दिशा मिल रही है। एजुकेशन इज लेवरेजिंग द पावर ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड एट द सेम टाइम इट इज नॉट जस्ट रिमेनिंग लिमिटेड टू कि जो स्कूल और कॉलेजेस में पढ़ रहे हैं, बट इट विल और इट इज गेटिंग बीइंग अप्लाइड टू upskilling programs as well, courses on professional skills, etc. So education, yeah, it definitely leverages from the power of AI.
Thanks. Any other query from the audience? Okay.
एक और क्वेश्चन है, डू यू थिंक बिकॉज वी आर सो, आई मीन इट साउंड्स स्केरी अगेन टू मी, बट ह्यूमंस they will do everything that is required for their survival, right, as a species. So do you think in future that we're talking about in 2040 or 2050 or even later, AI would become so powerful that it can even, understand our emotions, maybe do things on their own, and if it becomes a threat, if we feel like it might even become a threat to us, do you think humans are going to support it, or do you think humans are going to go against it and maybe even, ban things which basically relate in automatic intelligence? Because we would want to survive. Why would we support? For example, मशीन्स आई हैं, अगर ऑटोमेटिक हमारा काम रिड्यूस हो रहा है तो द लेबर यूनियन जो होता है वो सबसे पहले उसके अगेंस्ट जाता है, दिस इज गोइंग टू कट आर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, इतना इम्पैक्ट होगा, हल्ला गुल्ला होगा, एंड द पर्सन एंड बेसिकली द डिसीजन दैट यूजुअली गेट्स टेकन इज कि भाई ये नहीं करेंगे, लेट्स सपोर्ट द पीपल. सो व्हाई एज अ ह्यूमन वी वुड सपोर्ट एआई, maybe up to an extent, but beyond that extent, why? If it is
So there are many folds. So firstly, before I speak about the current threat or after 40 years threat, let me tell you something. That firstly, we require as a human being in our factory muscular power, muscles power, right? So there were some tools which used to overcome from that thing. Right now, there are tools where you don't need to hold more weight, and you don't need to have big muscles. But there are tools. Then, still the factories are not safe for humans. But after AI, there will be more machines, and the factories will be more safer for human beings. And for the food sector, there will be many algorithms are already there. Machine AI is already doing very much to detect crop diseases and for more production. And after the second fold is, suppose in very dark sense, suppose there will be the AI will be more very powerful. The evolution is already gone. Okay. And the jobs will be replaced. But there are production. People are making things. Who will wear those t-shirts? Who will wear the food which is grown in the fields by the AI? So the government role will be very much powerful, crucial in this. The government has to step above, and they have to form some rules. They have to give some amount of money to every citizen to go and occupy that product, and the economy will balance accordingly. I think the time will balance things.
Also answering your question, I think humans are a very smart species. We are million years old. We have survived many such scenarios or such phases where we were about to get extinct. We survived ice age, we survived different wars, world wars. He rightly mentioned, so Mish rightly mentioned that now also, I mean, if you will look at the history of AI, as I said, it was introduced, the current form of AI was introduced in 1940s. And then, some of you may know that we went into winters. There is a specific phase called AI winters. It came in 1970s. Why? Because we were the researching community that was researching on those expert systems at those time. They were afraid of the outcomes that were coming at that point of time. The whole system collapsed. The people who were funding those research, they backed off. Everything went into winters. Again, second time in 1980s, AI winters came. Now again, since 2013, we are seeing a lot of new things, innovative things happening in AI acceleration. The whole system is accelerating at a very fast pace. But at the same time, this worry amongst different governments is coming up. why governments are talking about bringing different type of regulations, different type of policies, because they also want to control the kind of impact that it can have, that AI can make over the mankind. So over time, there will be limitations, there will be certain controls that will regulate the whole thing. So I do not see AI taking over humans as a species.
पवन सर on a lighter note, एक जोक सुना था कि AI can do what humans can do, but only a human can do what no other human has done ever. तो जैसे भी ले ऑफ हो रहे थे तो किसी और ने नहीं किया था तो ह्यूमंस कर रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं ह्यूमंस रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर देंगे AI को कि जहाँ पे we are more powerful than AI. That's what my personal belief is. Now, touching upon this,
I want to add over there. Actually, there are two schools of thoughts on this. One is definitely, I mean, what Gaurav and Bhavesh suggested, and there are examples also. When nuclear tests happened, they were, I mean, they were again, I mean, as scary as it is that it can vanish the whole humanity. Then there was crypto. I mean, cryptocurrencies came and everyone thought that it would become the currencies of the world and stuff, and then they got regulated. Nuclear energies also got regulated and stuff. So good chances that even on the AI front it gets regulated. But the second school of thought is that the problem is with human curiosity. I mean, it never stops. And even if regulated, there would be people who would keep working on it, I mean, legally, illegally, or ethically, unethically is a different thing. But just out of curiosity, because again, it's a very powerful tool, and as we all know, I mean, the biggest fight is for power rather than money. So, and it is actually a powerful tool. So the second school of thought actually has that scare. No one has a clear answer. Even the experts who are studying it from a long time, they also cannot tell it very surely. But yes, there is a possibility of that. Where again, I mean, because as you say that humans have a tendency to keep themselves secure, but again, I mean, by the very term of artificial intelligence, if that turns into intelligence, it would not be in the control. So there is that school of thought also, which is quite, I mean, there is probability that it may happen. But again, I mean, going by the past and seeing nuclear or crypto or anything, probably humans will definitely try to regulate for sure. How much they will be able to, it's still a question to, I mean, see.
थैंक्स सो देखिए अभी तक जो हमने बात की कि एआई होगा तो क्या प्रोसेस चेंज होगा, ह्यूमंस की लाइफ में क्या चेंजेस आएंगे, कौन सा काम है जो कोई और कर पाएंगे, बट एज ए ह्यूमंस एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होता है हमारे इमोशंस, ठीक है। तो जब एआई आएगा तो यू सी कि आज जैसे भी रिलेशनशिप्स होते हैं, ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली स्लोली इट्स बिकमिंग मोर वर्चुअल। नाउ वी हैव द एआईज व्हेन यू वांट टू इंटरेक्ट विद समवन यू कैन इंटरेक्ट विद एआई, आपको बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड या इसकी जरूरत नहीं होगी। या फिर अगर हम कोई सीरीज भी देखते हैं, जैसे वेब सीरीज, अगर आप में से किसी ने देखे होंगे ब्लैक मिरर वगैरह, दिस टॉक्स अबाउट द डार्क साइड ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी व्हेन ह्यूमंस फाइंड इमोशनल कनेक्ट एआई के साथ जब होगा तो वो आप सिंस ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक आपकी काफी अप्रोच रहती है, यू हैव वेरी गुड रिलेशन, सो डू यू थिंक दैट ह्यूमन का इमोशनल एंगल भी कहीं ना कहीं एआई से इंटैक्ट होने वाला है, नॉट ओनली द वर्ड?
Yeah, so the challenge actually, I mean, when I'm talking about human curiosity, the problem is that they are even trying to replicate brain, I mean, using AI, where they are trying to see that how any decision that you make in brain, how does that happen, I mean, how does that decision making happen? So there are good chances that even the emotions get replicated in AI. So rather than human having emotions for AI, there would be AI also having emotions at the same time. So in that scenario, I think for human it would be similar, like I mean, having a relationship with Bhavesh, you would have a relationship with AI, which again gets back, like I mean, there's a return back kind of thing. So couple of work that is going on is one is trying to replicate brain. One is for the purpose of emotion. Second is for the purpose of when keeping the memories of dead people. So like even if you die, your actually whole brain would be preserved in terms of a AI function. And when that computer boots up, it would be Divya. It would act like Divya, it would be able to work like Divya. So you got to keep reading in sense of like understanding what is being done. But yes, I mean emotions would work in a opposite manner where actually emotions would be developed with AI rather than actually human not having emotional touch with it.
Okay. आपके कोई observation?
Well, at this point of time, it sounds like a sci-fi concept to me. Having emotional connection with AI systems and falling in love with AI. I do not see this happening. And if I think about it, then probably some of us are AI systems at present also. Imagine a world. This may also be a way of looking at the things that we are living in such an advanced civilization where some of us are coming from some different planet and they are basically some AI systems interacting with us. So, if we are talking about the possibilities what can happen, then this is also an extreme point of view that probably is happening at present.
So is it good or bad?
Well, if some of you are AI systems and I'm living in that kind of age and I'm not having any problem, then I think we are good. Though we have nothing.
So again going to audience, अभी किसी का और कोई query है? Yes, okay.
सिर्फ जैसे है ना, ठीक है, मतलब अपन बोलते हैं एआई है, ठीक है, वो अपनी हेल्प कर रही है और कर रही है, तो है ना, ठीक है, अगर मैं मतलब ऐसे बोलूँ एज व्हाट आई थिंक कि अब आपको कोई है ना, ठीक है, कॉम्प्लेक्स एल्गो लिखनी है, आपने एआई को बोल दिया कि भाई इसकी एल्गो चाहिए, उसने छाप के दे दी, आपने उठाई चिपका दी, ठीक है। पर जो उसकी बेसिक स्किल है या बेसिक है ना, ठीक है, अगर मैं मतलब ये है कि मैं ऐसे बोलूँ इंटेलिजेंस है, तो जो है ना, ठीक है, आने वाली होगी जनरेशन, उसकी तो वो है ना ये है कि साफ़ी होगी ना, वो तो कभी डेवलप ही नहीं हो पाएगी।
आई थिंक इस क्वेश्चन को हमने इस डिस्कशन के दौरान शुरुआत में एड्रेस किया था कि क्योंकि कैलकुलेटर्स आ गए हैं, तो आप अगर अर्थमेटिक्स करना छोड़ देंगे तो फिर ये एक मतलब then this is something which is going in a detrimental mode. So because we have a system which can help us in writing better codes, इस वजह से मैं कोड करना या कोड किस तरीके से लिखे जाते हैं, वो क्वालिटी, वो सब चीजें लर्न करना और लिखना छोड़ दूं, तो then obviously it is going to harm each and everyone amongst us. But जो चीजें हैं और मतलब if ये सब चीजें जो है जो इतने सालों से चली आ रही हैं, हम हमारे डे टू डे लाइफ का पार्ट हैं, हम उनको करते हैं, अगर उनको करने में एआई से होने वाली हेल्प को तो इंक्लूड करें और इनोवेटिव तरीके और नई नई चीज़ें करने के, जो कि शायद हम इस वजह से नहीं कर पाते हैं क्योंकि समय नहीं है या फिर चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा समय लेती हैं, तो अगर उन चीज़ों में करें तो probably that is going to be a more useful way of
तो ये क्या है ना, केवल एजुकेशन का पार्ट नहीं होना चाहिए कि है ना अभी आप सीधा मतलब एआई के ऊपर है ना, ठीक है, जंप ना करके एक है ना, ठीक है, हाथ से होते हुए टेक्निकल फिर ही जाओगे।
So right now there is a huge challenge in education sector where students are using ChatGPT for their answers and teachers are confused at who is writing their answers, right? So it is the problem right now the world is facing. And for your question that implementation part, so right now it is doing it is really we are doing, right? We are not creating algorithm by our own. Okay, researchers are implementing or researching that algorithm. We are just implementing those formulas, right? So and for advanced mathematics and advanced research, humans are doing their part, right? So again, as Gaurav said, the calculator is not replacement for your arithmetic ability, right? it depends on the person who's completely relying on that. He will fall in decreasing manner. But if you understand that I need to learn this, you will be on our side.
लकी इस पे मतलब एजुकेशन की आपने बात करी तो बहुत सिंपल अगर मैं सोचूं तो एजुकेशन हैज टू बी बिकमिंग मोर लाइक अ अप्रोच फॉर फाइंडिंग द सॉल्यूशन rather than learning the facts. अगर आप अप्रोच ओरिएंटेड हो तो आपको पता है कौन से टूल्स और कौन सी चीज़ें आपको यूज़ करनी है, तो वो आपके लिए ज़्यादा बेनिफिशियल है rather than knowing कि उस टूल में एग्जैक्टली क्या 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 होगा, क्योंकि जिसको वो जानना है वो जाने। ठीक है, तो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं ओल्ड टाइम्स का बहुत ही सिंपल एग्जांपल अगर लूँ कि पुराने ज़माने में जब हमें रास्ता पता करना होता था तो हमें स्टार्स को देख के पता करना होता। आज की जनरेशन हमें से कोई नहीं जानती, तो क्या हम कहीं पे लैग कर रहे हैं या फिर हमारे पास वो टूल्स हैं जिससे हम इजीली पता कर सकते हैं कि कौन सा क्या डायरेक्शन है। तो डू वी एज अ जनरेशन वी फील कि हमारे पास वो कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है?
कैपेबिलिटी तो नहीं है, बट एक बेसिक वाली स्किल जो है ना ठीक है होती थी, ठीक है, वो तो मतलब हो ही गई ना वैनिश एक तरह से। भी आज है ना भाई, अगर ठीक है कोई अगर तारे पढ़ लेता है तो अपन बोलते हैं हाँ भाई, मतलब उसके लिए भी एक अलग फिर है ना चाहिए। अगर मैं मतलब ऐसा स्टडी है सेक्टर है, ठीक है, बट जो एक जो है ना बूढ़े बुजुर्ग है ना ठीक है पढ़ लेते थे पहले, तो वो तो मतलब खत्म ही हो गई ना,
उससे कुछ घाटा नहीं हुआ, मतलब लाइफ हैज इट विल इवॉल्व, है ना। अदरवाइज तो बेसिक स्किल सर्वाइवल की थी, राइट। आई मीन किसी टाइम पे अगर हम अपनी पुराने पूर्वज पे चल जाएं तो द बेसिक स्किल वाज फॉर सर्वाइवल, फॉर मेकिंग फूड, ठीक है, या फॉर मेकिंग ट्रांसपोर्ट। व्हील वाज एन इन्वेंशन, बट ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है ना कि आज भी हम वो व्हील ही बनाएं वापस से। तो एवोल्यूशन के साथ साथ बढ़ना तो इम्पॉर्टेंट है ही, अगर इफ इट इज़ नॉट हार्मिंग, राइट। सो यू गॉट टू लर्न अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट एवोल्यूशन इज हैपनिंग। मतलब मैं आज मेरी बेटी को मैं ये बोलता ही नहीं हूँ कि हिंदी लिखना सीख। आई डोंट थिंक आप, आई वुड आस्क यू लास्ट हिंदी में लेटर या हिंदी में कोई कुछ भी कब लिखा था, नहीं लिखा होगा। तो अगर आपने नहीं लिखा था तो उसको तो लिखने की ज़रूरत आनी नहीं है। और देयर वुड बी डेफिनेटली स्पीच टू टेक्स्ट एंड टेक अ प्रिंट, और इट वुड हेल्प हर। तो इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी कि जो आपने किया वही ज़रूरी है कि आगे वाली जनरेशन सीखे। जो एवोल्यूशन का पार्ट है और जहाँ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं वो चीज़ चलाना ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह आना चाहिए। इट विल ऑलवेज हैपन।
इनफैक्ट प्रॉब्लम तब खड़ी हो जाएगी जब हम चेंजेस को रेजिस्ट करना शुरू कर देंगे। वैसे एज ह्यूमंस वी ऑलवेज रेजिस्ट चेंज। कुछ भी चेंज हुआ तो हमें लगेगा ये क्यों हो रहा है ना, जैसे चल रहा था वो बहुत सही था, लेकिन वहीं पर ना मतलब जो है वो प्रॉब्लम लाया करता है कि अगर हमने ये रिजिडिटी दिखाई कि मैं तो पहले भी कोड खुद लिख रहा था और आगे भी मैं मेरा कोड खुद ही लिखता रहूंगा, चाहे गिटहब कोपायलट आ जाए और वो मेरे से बेहतरीन कोड लिख कर दे रहा है, पर नहीं मैं तो वैसे ही करूंगा, देन आई थिंक यू आर डिगिंग योर ग्रेव, खुद ही खुद अपने लिए खड्डा हो जाए। तो क्योंकि अब ये काम मशीन्स कर सकते हैं तो लेट मी इन्वेस्ट माय टाइम इन मोर यूजफुल एक्टिविटीज, वो अप्रोच होनी चाहिए।
थैंक यू वारुण। One last query from the audience. Thank you. एक बार मैं ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम को बुलाना चाहूँगा। Let's have a huge round of applause for the organizing team.
बना यार फोटोग्राफी करो, फ्रेम में